Hello everyone and welcome back to the show. Today on your daily starter, let's talk about the fact that you only get 24 hours a day. You only have 24 hours a day, no more, no less. Hello friend, this is the voice of Ademola Morebise. Hello friend, you know, one of the things about being human is that sooner or later we learn how to deal with the limitations of the human experience, right? Like there are certain limitations that we have to embrace for better or worse, right? And I think one of those limitations is this fundamental idea that you only get 24 hours in a day, and that's all. Like you've only got 24 hours in a day. So whatever grand visions you have for your future, for your life, your grand plan, things you want to do, things you would love to do at some point, right? You have to get them done 24 hours at a time, isn't it? So when you sit down and think about your life, you also have to understand that time constraint. Very, very important. A lot of people, I see them, they live their life, they plan their lives without respect for that time boundary, and that's why time management is a big topic, is a big issue any day at all, right? You have to understand, sometimes people just set all of this on realistic schedules, right? They set this thing, by 2 I'll do this, by 2:30 I'm doing this, by 3 p.m. I'm doing this, by 4 p.m. I'm like, hello. I mean, how are you going to combine all of this together? Isn't it? The meeting is for 8 a.m. and it's going to be a 30 minutes drive to the meeting that kicks off by 8 a.m. Yet you leave your house by 7:50 under the guise of, doing that is already an indication that you have no intentions. Like you have no intentions, you're never thinking of honoring that, that timeline in the very first place. And I believe that is sad, and that is not something I want you and I to carry over into our own generations, right? We have to understand that time is a real thing, that there's time. Understand that time is ticking. Understand that there's a need for us to learn how to live within the constraints of time. And when we say, you get 24 hours in a day, right? Someone like me, I went to a point in my life where I tell myself, look, I do have 24 hours in a day, right? Maybe we have maybe 8 hours, maybe 10 hours of useful time in a whole day actually. It's very hard for you to be productive 24 hours in a day, isn't it? In fact, I reviewed some studies the other day that suggested that, the average human being is not able to be creative and productive for more than 6 hours every single day. 6 hours, right? So we say you have 24 hours, but in the real sense of it, if you're going to do work that matters, you have just maybe 6 hours to do high-level work, right? I've read, after someone like Jeff Bezos, right, the founder of Amazon, and he said something interesting. He said, he does his high IQ task early in the day, and that in fact once it's 4 p.m. he postpones all meetings to the next day. that he just feels he's unable to, he can't do anything that is mentally taxing, once it's 4 p.m. I read that somewhere, you understand? My point is this: when we understand that we have limitations, that we can only be creative, productive, active, productive for just about 6 hours every single day. When you have that consciousness, that should inform us on how to set up our schedule, right? So that means you don't want to go there and just pile all these things, and it begins to look as if you're going to need 30 hours in a day. Because honestly, you and I know you are not getting 30 hours in a single day, right? All you get is 24 hours. And I know that after a certain amount of time, there's fatigue, right? It's not a matter of food, it's not a matter of rest. Your brain just needs to shut down for the day to restart tomorrow altogether, isn't it? So I believe strongly that we have to factor that into what we want to do. So the grand visions you have for the future, all those things you want to do in your future, it comes down to your ability to manage your 24-hour chunk, one day at a time. That today I got 24 hours, what can I do with it? Bearing in mind that, productivity might just be for 6 hours, right? Maybe 10, maybe between 6 hours and 10 hours, right? It's even hard for you to do 12 hours productivity every day. So maybe 10 hours, if you're really stretching it, maybe you can be productive for about 10 hours in a whole day. So you have to be honest with yourself that this is a real constraint, this is a real limitation. Wishing it away does not change anything. Positive confession, I don't think I can change anything, right? It is just part of the human condition. It is part of the human experience. Maybe tomorrow our scientists will figure it out and find out a way to break that barrier, and now we got unlimited time. But for now, time is a resource that is even more precious to you and I than money, So we have to understand this concept, because so many times when I talk to high achievers, upwardly mobile young people that want to change their life and take that staircase upstairs, we always struggle with this idea of what we can do and what we can't do with the time that is available, with the useful time that is only available to us. But I believe that once you embrace that constraint and understand it, you stop fighting the wall, right? You stop beating the air, and you begin to strategize and plan your life around the most productive times of the day. And this also helps you also with incoming, right? When people come to assign projects to you, they want you to commit to their project, things they are doing and all that. Understanding the limitations of your time means you can make an informed decision and say, okay, yeah, if I say yes to this project, that means I'm giving up so chunk of my productivity. If I embrace this new project, if I go with this new idea, it's going to negatively impact this other thing that I do. And in the midst of it all, you have a wholesome view, right, of what is possible, what is not possible, what you ought to be doing, and the things that you ought not to be doing at the very same time. So I believe that time is a critical part of the human experience. We can't wish it away. We can't, it's here to stay, right? But what we can do is to be honest in our assessment of time and being honest enough to manage our time and energy properly so that we can maximize that time. Because no matter how grand our visions are, we are constrained by 24 hours. Why don't you repeat after me this morning? Say, God daily loads me with benefits. I am bold and strong. Every day, in every way, I am getting better and better. My name is Ademola Morebise. Thank you so much for taking out time to check out this video. Remember, you can lead a formidable life. Have a great day.